Welcome to The Fight with Teddy Atlas, presented by Dynamic Striking. I'm Ken Rideout, joined as always by Boxing Hall of Famer, the legend Teddy Atlas. Teddy, how you doing?
Good. I'm still a little full from those crumpets I had last week. A little heavy in the stomach, but I'm working hard to burn them off and to never eat crumpets again. I'm just kidding. To never be forced to eat them again. But,
well, there won't be any crumpets on the menu this weekend. We've got the money man Floyd Mayweather in a pay-per-view all-action fight with boxing superstar Logan Paul. What are you looking for in this one, Teddy?
Oh, a lot of money. They must have met Floyd's price of $100 million, right? If you meet his price, he signs up. I don't know what the money is, but I'm sure I'm not far off. You get his price and you get him to sign on to one of these extravaganzas, one of these moneymakers. It's a money grab, but hey, I think any fighter who's had a career and that's been in that ring, taking the chances like Floyd, they deserve to make whatever they can. So I don't begrudge them anything. It's up to the people to pay for it. I don't begrudge them anything, not at all. But I got a slightly different twist on this one that's probably going to get a lot of attention. It's probably going to get some people a little crazy and maybe raise some blood pressures around the country a little bit. But it almost sounds like blasphemy for me to even, oh God, I don't know. I might need another crumpet to get this out. But it almost seems like blasphemy for me to even get this across my lips. But there could be danger here for Floyd. I know I said it, okay? I said it. I'm not saying it because of the athlete that Paul is, the fighter, the background, any of that. Of course, he doesn't have anything in that area. But when does Floyd not become Floyd? When does Floyd cease to exist? When is it not Floyd anymore? I think people are forgetting that. He's 44 years old. He hasn't fought for 4 years. He had some exhibition 2 years ago, I don't know if it was even real, in Japan, where he got paid a lot of money for 139 seconds. That's a little longer than Spinks lasted with Tyson, but with a 20-year-old kickboxer. And again, I don't even know if it was real, but he got paid to go to Japan and do that 2 years ago. He could have got out of the shower and did that, right? I mean, he could have, get off the plane, transatlantic flight, get off the plane, take a shower, get in there, spend 139 seconds, and then go home. So I don't know if he even trained for that. I don't know. I respect Floyd a lot. He's a smart man. He picks his spots. He knows how to make money. He was a great fighter, great defensive fighter, tremendous counterpuncher, all those things. And he deserves to make whatever the people would pay him, the market will pay him. He deserves it. He took the risk. But at what point is he not Floyd? One day, he's going to get in that ring with whoever he's in there with, and he's not going to be Floyd anymore. I don't know if that day comes now, but I know he's given up 30 pounds. I know he's fighting a guy that, I use the word fighting loosely, but listen, it's a fight. They're going to go in there and try to hurt each other. And he's in there with a guy who is 30 pounds bigger and takes the sport serious. The Paul brothers, for whatever you want to say, they respect the sport enough to learn it. To go out there, train diligently, learn what they can learn the right way by people that can teach them the right things, and they put the time into respecting the sport. I give them credit for that. Yeah, a lot of people hate these guys. I give them credit for that. And they got followers on YouTube, and they're building it into this, and they've been smart enough to build it into this. Why not? That's the American way, right, Ken?
Yep.
Really, it is. So why not? Go ahead. It's up to people to buy it. They're not putting a gun to your head. But I do get concerned with a great fighter like Floyd that represents boxing the way he does, and where a lot of people forget that he's 44, forget he's given up 30 pounds, forget that he hasn't fought basically for 4 years in a real fight. They think it's still the same Floyd, and it's not. And I don't know what version of Floyd it'll be, but I know that it becomes a slippery slope when you keep doing this game, because sooner or later, It's kind of like the great magician. That's what he is. He's a great magician. He disappears on you. He always was. You know, he makes your punches disappear, right? He's a great magician. He's a David Copperfield. He makes things go away, makes punches go away. But when does he become that old magician who isn't that guy anymore and who the cards are falling out of his sleeve and the trick's not working anymore? When does he become that guy? I don't know if he does, but he could. It's possible.
Hey guys, quick break to give a shout out to our newest sponsor, Privacy.com. Privacy.com lets you buy things online or send money using a virtual card instead of having to use your real credit card or debit card. This is an incredible service. Honestly, I use it myself. I've had my American Express number hacked multiple times. I feel like I'm getting a new card every other month. I now use exclusively Privacy.com for all my online purchases. It's free to use. It allows you to track all your online purchases in one place. And you can even get 1% cash back on all your purchases with the Pro service. If you'd like to give it a try, head over to privacy.com/Atlas and you'll automatically get $5 to spend on your first purchase if you sign up now. Again, head over to privacy.com/Atlas, ATLAS, to try this free service and get $5 to spend on your first purchase when you sign up.
Let's break it down for the fans. Give it the earnest breakdown. The earnest breakdown, a fair breakdown. He's in there with a guy who's never won a fight. He's 0-2. He's got a draw, and he's got a loss to another fellow YouTuber. But he's a big, 190-pound, strong guy. He can punch a little bit. He does know some basics. He knows how to jab. He knows how to use his legs and stand the right way on the outside. He does all. Okay, Teddy, stop. Stop! Come on. He's fighting Floyd Mayweather. Stop. All right. I'm with you. But here's the thing. Here's the thing nobody's thinking about. Nobody. Even with these kind of fights, that old axiom makes sense. It's true. Styles make fights. Floyd Mayweather is not a go-get-you guy. He's a counterpuncher. He's a magician. He's a guy that beats you to the punch, a guy who times you. He needs cooperation. Guys come after him, it's like going into a meat grinder. He makes you miss, he spits you out. He punches back, he counters, he does all. He's great speed, all these things. He's 44-year-old counterpuncher. He's going to fight a bigger, longer, taller, physically stronger guy who's going to stay on the outside, knows enough how to jab and move around. And it's only 6 rounds. It's only 6 rounds. These things mean something. It's only 6 rounds. He's going to play around, fool around, not play around, but you know what I mean. He's going to move around on the outside with his jab. And Floyd, that's not Floyd's game. Floyd's game is, to counterpunch, to outbox you, to outscore you, not to seek and destroy. If he was Tyson, let me say this very plainly so people get a visual picture. If this was Tyson, forget about 190, 200, Tyson's 210, 220 now. Forget it. I don't care about the weight. Just the style. If this was Mike Tyson fighting this guy, Paul gets knocked out in about 30 seconds. Or as long as it takes to walk out there and say hello. Hello, bang! Because he's aggressive, because he's a fighter, because he's got the talent and the experience, all that stuff that Floyd has. But because he's aggressive, he's not a counterpuncher. He's going to go get the freaking guy. Floyd's not going to go get the guy. He's going to have time to hide. He's going to have time to kill. He's going to have time to exist. He's going to have time to survive. He's going to have time to jab and move on the outside. Time. Time is the key here. That might not be Floyd's time anymore at 44. That there might not be enough time for Floyd to get to this guy. Because let's not forget the McGregor fight. I'm going to give you an x-ray, a CAT scan breakdown of this fight. Conor McGregor, of course, much better than Paul. I get it. He was a real fighter, a real champion, MMA, not a boxer, but he wasn't a boxer. But he was a great striker in the MMA world. He's a southpaw. He was a good puncher, and he's a real fighter. He knows how to handle that domain. He knows how to handle the pressures of being in the ring. He understood that. So he's a whole different animal. I get it. But he still wasn't a fighter. He wasn't a professional boxer. And everybody thought it was a joke. And after 4 rounds, I was there calling a fight for ESPN, for SportsCenter. After 4 rounds with my man, Charlie Monahan, who's the greatest director in the game, works for ESPN. I was sitting there ringside, and also with Chael Sonnen, he just does a great job, like all those guys do in the UFC and the MMA world. But I'm sitting there ringside after 4 rounds, Ken. Guess who's winning? It wasn't Floyd Mayweather. It wasn't Floyd. It was a guy named Conor McGregor. It was Conor McGregor because he was able to stay on the outside. Styles matter. Styles matter. He was able to stay on the outside with that long reach, southpaw, and he was able to score with his jab and keep Floyd from doing what he does, counter. Styles matter. And he was able to get a lead after 4 rounds. Here's the difference. It was a 12-round fight. Floyd is special. And Floyd said, oh, my holy, you know what? Holy poo-poo, as my grandson would say. Wow. I got to change here. I got to change up here. I got to adjust here. I got to do something I don't normally do. I got to go get him. I got to go break him down. I got to go get this freaking guy. And he did. And he started putting pressure, and he broke him down. He started putting pressure on him for 6 straight rounds, and he finally broke him down. I think he stopped him in the 10th. He finally got to him. And, but he had to do it in a way that he didn't normally do business. He knew he had to do it, and he did. But he had 12 rounds to do it. It took him 10. There's only 6 rounds here. I don't think Floyd's got the time to do that, number one. I know he's in there with a lesser guy, but a bigger guy. And number 2, here's another variable that nobody's talking about or even considering. The fight's in June. They moved it up. Floyd's been out of real fighting for 4 years. He had that exhibition 2 years ago, whatever. But whatever. But 4 years, and he's 44 years old. They moved his fight up to accommodate, I guess whatever. They had to accommodate with the dates for the pay-per-view, to whatever, from the business side of it. I don't know if he had enough time to prepare after being off basically 4 years. I don't know if he had enough time. I don't know. I know he always keeps in pretty good shape. But I don't know. This guy's 26 years old. I don't know if he had enough time, maybe he's taken for granted. It happens. I don't need time. Give me 2 weeks. Give me a half hour. You know what I mean? Really? Here, what do you got here? Give me 15 minutes and bring the check and I'll meet you at the ring.
I'll see you in Miami.
I'll see you in Miami, baby.
Let me give you some stats. So Floyd's 44 years old. He's 5'8" with a 72-inch reach, while Paul is 26 years old, 6'2" with a 76-inch reach. Floyd can't weigh more than 160. Paul can't weigh more than 190. 6 3-minute rounds. Paul is 190, and you said he can't be more than 160. Floyd's not 160 pounds. So if he comes in 160, guess what? I have a news memo. I don't think you need it from Teddy. He's not in shape. He's not in his best shape. I think he weighed 154 against McGregor.
Yeah, so okay, good. He could fight at that. But I'm just saying, go ahead. Finish. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, so for the guys at MyBookie, check them out at mybookie.ag. Use the promo code ATLAS for a 50% credit on your first deposit. The line is minus 1,000 on Mayweather, plus 550 on Paul. Like I said, 6 3-minute rounds. Given all that, are you comfortable with Floyd enough to lay $1,000 to make 100?
No. I know this is gonna rock the world out there of this podcast stuff. People are gonna say, what? Come on, Teddy. What? Teddy, you're always a credible, reasonable, respectful, right? I try to be. Person that stays within the realm of reality, right? I mean, look, I even got this sign here. Where is it? I still got it. I mean, this is my address. That's right. That's where we live. Yep. But so people are going to say, "Oh, come on, Teddy, stop." But no, I don't, because of what I just said. Because it's only 6 rounds. He's 44 years old. This guy can box a little on the outside. he can survive. And who knows what, I don't know. I'm not saying he beats him, but I definitely would put money, if I put it anywhere, I put it going the distance. It feels that way to me. It smells that way to me. It figures that way for the way I'm breaking it down, looking at things. I would, you can tell us what the numbers are for going the distance for the people out there.
Going the distance, you're getting plus 175 on yes, it will go the distance. You have to lay 300 if you think it'll go under. So, I mean, you're getting plus money on the distance. I tend to think it goes the distance.
That's what I said. And yeah, that's what I would bet. I know people are going to, but when you make some money, you can at least, I don't know, you could buy me some crumpets. I don't know. Yeah,
if you think Mayweather will knock him down, you can get you have to lay 550 to make a hunch. If you don't think he'll get knocked down, 100 gets you back 250.
I'm betting the don'ts. I'm betting the distance. I'm betting the don'ts, that he don't get knocked down, that he stays away, that he's able to survive. 6 rounds ain't enough for Floyd to come out of character and have to march forward like he did with McGregor and go get him. I think the clock's going to come up short. He's gonna beat the clock, Paul. I also, here's another variable and a X factor that's really important. I don't know. It's about character too. It's about talent. It's about experience. Paul's big. He's strong. He don't have the experience. Obviously, he don't have the expertise. He doesn't have the talent to even talk about the realm of Floyd Mayweather. Come on, let's stop. It's like comparing a pond. It's like a pond. What am I talking about? I mean, it's like one of those pools you put the little 2-month-old baby in the plastic pools in the backyard, comparing that to the Atlantic Ocean. Guess what? It's no comparison, right? Okay. So as far as that goes, I'm not knocking him. I'm not trying to be disparaging. I'm telling the truth. There's no comparison. But here's where the but is. You got a guy now where you're gonna go in there and you're gonna be able to stay away for 6 3-minute rounds. That's 18 minutes, right? Last I checked, right? That's 18 minutes. So for 18 minutes with a 44-year-old guy who it's probably gonna take him 4 rounds to get his engine going. Really? It took him 4 rounds to get his engine going with McGregor. It's gonna take Floyd a few rounds to even get his engine going. I mean, you're getting some things in your favor, considering that you have nothing else in your favor. And here's the other thing. Here's the key. One of the really big ones. It always also comes down to character, temperament, mental makeup. What is your mental makeup? Are you tough enough, determined enough, Styles? Are you aggressive enough, willing enough to take a risk, to go in there? Maybe if it's close in the late rounds and he survived, to do enough to try to do more than survive. Are you that temperament? I don't know if he is. In the fight that he lost, I watched it, Paul, he didn't go after it in the last round. It was a 6-round fight. He lost to another YouTuber, a strong guy, a guy that was throwing haymakers at him, and they both hurt each other. And the referee, Paul dropped the guy, but he didn't count it a knockdown. He took points away from him because he said on the knockdown he held him behind the neck with the uppercut. So it was one of those things where, it was an X factor in there where he didn't get credit for a knockdown. The other guy knocked Paul down early in the fight. He hit him with a right hand behind the ear. So look, I'm looking at the temperament. I have to make a quick guess here because I don't have a lot of a body of evidence. I don't have a lot to look at, but I know what I'm looking at. I've been in the business 45 years. I shouldn't need a lot. So I'm looking at his temperament in the 6th round, Ken. He didn't go after the guy. They both needed that 6th round to win. He lost by a point. They both needed that 6th round to win, and Paul didn't go after him. So he didn't show me. Forget about his lacking of experience, his lacking of talent, his lacking of expertise. Forget all that. We know that. But the other part, the character, the willingness, what you're made of, what floats your boat, who you are. he didn't have that confidence, that urgency to say, I'm gonna go get this guy and I'm gonna try to win this fight. He boxed the last round, but he needed to do more than that. I didn't see that kind of makeup, that he's mentally strong enough. And again, to his defense, he's never been in this world before. So give him credit for doing what he's doing. I'm giving him credit. And that he found a way to make money. I'm giving him credit. It's the American way. Beautiful, baby. Go get it if you can. Do it without doing anything wrong to hurt people. Go ahead. Go ahead. But what I'm saying is, and a lot of people are going to be surprised, but Teddy, it hurts the integrity of the sport. No, people know what the real boxers are. People know where the real fighters are. People understand that. They're going to be watching Fury and Wilder again. They're going to see Joshua and Usyk if they fight. They're going to be watching the great Manny Pacquiao against Spence. I mean, they know what the real fights are. This is different. This is a I don't want to call it a sideshow, but it's a sideshow. It's a distraction. It's for people to dream, to be distracted, to people that maybe just don't do athletic things, to say, hey, look, one of my guy that represents me, a guy that used to play YouTube games, now he went from the YouTube to the ring, where it's real. It's real virtual reality. Wow, holy cow. It's like watching a movie, The Matrix, where it becomes unplugged, and now you're in the real world. Wow. So, yeah, these promoters are smart. They're geniuses. They locked into something here. They really have. And they're getting the benefits, and they're reaping the rewards of it. Again, the American way, free enterprise. But what I'm talking about now is not the physical components. I don't know if Paul can mentally handle the pressures that it is to get in that furnace. It's a furnace. It's a furnace of emotion. It's a furnace of fear. It's a furnace of threat, of pressure. It is. It really is. It's a storm, baby. To get in that ring, to be on that stage, on that platform, in that ring alone, to handle that feeling. Floyd can handle it. These great fighters, they live a lifetime learning how to become comfortable in an uncomfortable environment, in a threatening environment. How to eat ice cream and jab with the other hand, eat ice cream with the right hand and jab with the left while somebody's trying to take your head off. I mean, they learn to be comfortable in a place that should never be comfortable, really, for most people. And I don't know if this guy has the wherewithal, the temperament, the mental toughness, just to handle that part. Just to handle that part. That's a big part, guys. That's a huge part, guys. That alone can be like watching rock salt on ice in the winter. It can melt you. You ever put rock salt on ice in the winter and you watch it right in front of you? I do it. My steps get icy. And I put it there and I watch the ice melt. Well, people can melt from that pressure, from that anxiety, from that fear, from those feelings. They can melt. So that aside, see, that's the one X factor. Maybe he melts. But aside from him melting, I didn't know I was going to be talking about Frosty the Snowman. My grandson's going to watch this one. He's going to watch this episode. But aside from him melting, I don't even know if there's enough time, because when I put that rock salt down, it did take a couple hours. It took a couple hours to get it completely done, to get through all that ice. He's only got 6 rounds to melt him. Just with that, being that it's that short of a distance, being that he's 44, being he hasn't fought basically for 4 years in a real fight, for 4 years, being that he's only had 20 minutes to get ready for this fight. I don't know how long he had, but he hasn't had long to get ready for this fight, right? Being all of those things, being that this guy, Paul, has respected the sport, he's 30 pounds heavier, he's much longer, he's bigger, he's respected the sport, he knows the basics, he knows how to jab, set up a right hand, use his feet on the outside. With all that being said, and I'm going to go back to it, 6 rounds, And Floyd, it's not Floyd's style. It's not Floyd's style. If this was Errol Spence, all right, forget it. Just like I said with Tyson, if this is Errol Spence knocks him out in one round. Errol Spence goes and he gets him, puts pressure on him. All those things he brings to the forefront, the feelings, not being able to handle that feeling, that pressure, that fear, that anxiety, it chokes him to death. It chokes him to death, besides that the punches will be on him to knock him to death. So if it's Errol Spence, it's over. But it's not Errol Spence. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Errol Spence is better than the great Floyd Mayweather. That's not the point. It's styles. Floyd's not going to go after him. And having said all of that, and I think I said it the right way, and I took my time to explain it the right way. With all that having been said, my good people out there, it scares me a little bit. A little bit. I know people can say Teddy lost it. Teddy's completely lost it. He's completely lost it. He's disrespecting boxing. He's disrespecting Floyd. No, far from the truth. I couldn't have more respect for my sport. I couldn't have more respect for Floyd. I said it already. But I'm pointing out things that need to be pointed out if you're going to get the proper perspective of this fight. And no, I'm not paid by Triller or whoever's promoting this thing to make it Showtime, to make it look. I think you know me better than that. I think I've earned through my reputation over the years not to be even challenged by that kind of thinking. I think I have. And that's it. That's it, Ken. That's
I don't think anyone's going to be accusing you of being in cahoots with Steven Espinoza at Showtime.
No, that little idiot. I said it. Yeah, I said it. Okay? Some of these executives don't deserve the paydays they get, but they make it to spite themselves, because there's a product out there, there's a delivery system out there with a great network, and they still get it. They're still able to get numbers that they're able to exist and keep their job. But if they knew how to do their job a little better, it could be better. And they could be putting better fights on in a more consistent manner instead of these one-sided fights. I'm not talking about their big fights. When they put a big fight on, of course they're going to get decent numbers. But when they put that crap on a regular basis, the non-competitive A's against B's, guess what? People ain't even stupid. Steven, people aren't stupid. They don't watch. Not when it comes to the regular fights like that. They don't watch. They won't watch because they can watch something that's more competitive. UFC has passed up you guys in that way. And I'm not, again, you have a major cable network. I know you get the numbers when you put a major, I get that. We're not comparing apples and oranges, apples and pineapples. I'm talking about apples and apples, baby. Come on. When you're talking about that and you're putting on just regular fights week to week, UFC has passed you guys up because guess what? Every week you put on a UFC fight, pretty much every week, they're competitive. Because the best guys, top guys, competitive guys, competent guys are getting in there. You're not just putting guys in there to build somebody's record so you can trick your audience. This guy's 102-0.
You'll never see a guy in the UFC 16-0, 16 first-round knockouts, maybe in the developmental programs, but you won't see him in the UFC. He won't have 16 UFC fights, 16 first-round knockouts.
Such an honest point. No, because you've been tested. Because you've been putting real fights. He's not 150-0 like some of these guys. You know, they could basically become 150-0. I mean, really, I know he's a tough guy, but what's your gardener doing next week? Really, is he busy? Really, I know he's a tough gardener. Don't get me wrong, and a good gardener, and a man that works hard. And so I'm not knocking him, disparaging him, but I'm just saying, if he's free, tell him to call Stevie, baby. You know, maybe get on one of those cards. You know. Maybe.
On the UFC's recent pay-per-view, the most recent
and
pay-per-view.
And I do this for the fans. I'm telling you, I do it because it's the truth. And you, the fans, you need somebody to ask these questions. You need somebody to bring this forward.
On the recent pay-per-view card on the UFC, I forget which one it was, but the biggest underdog of the night was at plus 175, and the person won.
There it is.
You won't see Showtime After Dark or Showbox, whatever it's called, Boxing After Dark, where every single fight is essentially even or less than a 2-1 favorite on an A side. It just won't happen.
Well, that's so true.
You'll see guys that are like risking their lives to get in there with a prospect.
So true, Ken. So true. And again, we've talked about this with the great Dustin Poirier. Really, and he's great. He's great as a human being. He's great as a UFC fighter. And these guys, they get put in a furnace. They get put in a fire. You could lose 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever. But you're learning. You're becoming better. You're being forged. You want to have a blade for battle. These are warriors. They do it with their hands. But you're a warrior. You go out there. You're a samurai. You want to have a samurai sword. What do? You put it in the fire. You put it in the fire to forge that blade. Well, how do you forge a human being? The same way, to go in the fire, to become a warrior, to go through, to know that you can depend on yourself, to learn about yourself, to answer questions about yourself. In the UFC, they get those questions answered earlier rather than later. And they're ready for the fire. They're ready for the furnace when the moment comes. A lot of these guys, they're not being done favors by putting them in there, with fights that they could win with one hand tied behind the other, and get out of bed and have 10 minutes to get ready. They're not learning nothing. They're not getting better. They're not answering questions. They're not developing. And a lot of times you'll see a guy with that great record. All of a sudden, fight a veteran, bang. You say, what happened? I'll tell you what happened. It's what didn't happen. He didn't get the fights he needed on the way up to become better, to become whole in that way, to answer those questions.
You know, I think of a good example when you talk about that is, was it Rene Alvarado that Cancio beat twice? I mean, beat the hell out of him. And Alvarado, prior to that fight, trained by Freddie Roach, world beater. They thought that Cancio, like, oh, let's get the guy from SoCal Gas. We'll beat the hell out of him. And Cancio was like, no, not this guy. And then in the rematch, he beat him up even worse. I mean, I don't think he's won a fight since.
So true, Ken. So true. No, he hasn't, Ken. You're so true. Exhibit A in a court of law for our argument. Exhibit A. Right there. And there's a lot of exhibits. There's a lot of them. And Cancio was the wrong guy. He was the wrong guy. He was the guy we're talking about. He was the guy with losses. He was the guy who had forged through the fire. He was the guy that did get questions answered. He was the guy that lost in order to win. He was that guy. He was the wrong guy for them.
I'm sorry, it wasn't not Rene Alvarado. I'm sorry, Alberto Machado. Sorry,
Machado.
Not Rene Alvarado came back and beat Andrew to take his belt. I meant Alberto Machado. Apologies.
Hey, you did what you had to do. You went and you checked it. And you corrected it on time. Thank God. I'd hate to see what they be coming after you with if you didn't.
Oh, they'd kill me.
Thank God.
Thank
God, Ken. Thank God.
They're probably already typing. They're probably all deleting the message. Like, oh, shit, I already typed that. Of course. They're doing it as soon as they're listening. Oh, he's an idiot. Yeah. He made a mistake.
Yeah, this is what you guys need from my buddy Ken. This one. Here, this. Whiteout. Okay? That's what you need. Okay, guys?
Rob, make sure we get screenshots of all those posts as soon as they go up. Teddy, that's it for me. You got anything else before we sign off?
I want to wish everybody, as you do, as Rob does, a happy Memorial Day weekend.
I hope everyone had a good one.
Yeah, I hope everyone had a good one. I hope everybody enjoyed themselves, stayed safe, stayed healthy, and continue to treat everybody, each other with respect and with love. With love. What's that song, Ken? I think that's going to become our theme song. We're going to get a theme song. What's that great one? You remember that song? Everybody.
All you need is love.
All you need is love. The Beatles, right? All you need is love. Dun, 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 dun. All you need is love. Dun, dun, dun. And I say that genuinely. That's what we need more of. We can never get too much love. And as I say that, as we sign off, go ahead, go forward and attack Ken the way I know you're going to attack him for something. But again, it's all in love because we love you guys.
That's for sure. Love doing it. Love talking to you every week. Love the fans, even the ones that are nasty on YouTube. We're listening. We're watching. Anyway, Teddy, thanks for doing this. Great to be with everyone. Look forward to seeing you guys next week, and we'll discuss what happens in the Floyd Mayweather, Logan Paul battle.
Yes, sir.
Take care, Teddy.
Take care.
All right.